Hello, I am back for some more streaming, some more fun, some more game development. Um, so last time we created a really basic enemy, a dummy enemy, as well as the parent object that will be the parent of all enemies in the game, as well as a single projectile just to test the ultra basic health and combat so far. Here we go. Once again, this is being made in Game Maker Studio with prioritization on Xbox 360 gamepad. When the heck did my gamepad get so gross? Huh. Anyhow. So, we have movement. We can go slowish, faster. We can do a simple dodge. One problem currently with this dodge is that you can change directions mid-dodge, which I don't quite like. I might be fine with the dodge arcing slightly, but nothing quite like changing directions completely mid-dodge like what I'm doing right here. Anyhow, then we also have our basic projectile firing. Surprisingly hard to aim. So something I would like to do is make it so that you can lock onto an enemy, sort of like in most third-person action games. You know, well, yeah, most third-person action games. Currently, I am planning on doing it with the Dark Souls method, or, well, the same way they do in Dark Souls where you press the right stick. I would also kind of like to have the right stick control which direction you're facing, sort of like in a twin-stick shooter. Although I'm not planning on this being a twin-stick shooter, I'm planning on it being, well, an action game, but not just a shooter. I mean, it'll have shooting, ideally with arrows or crossbows or something, as well as, you know, melee weapons such as swords, axes, maces, pole arms, all that good stuff. How far I actually get with that, though, remains to be seen. It's just what's currently bubbling in my mind. Anyhow, let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is start making the right stick aiming. That is not the right thing. We want this. Okay. So we have player direction right now. I would like to instead change it to player move direction and player aim direction. When the player is not using the right stick, they will be the same, but when the player is using the right stick, then they will not be the same. So let's see. First off, let's find player direction, and let's change this to player. Oh, we're doing the wrong one. Player move direction. Replace all. I think the only other one that we need to worry about is this one. But we also need that player aim direction. Player aim direction. Okay, cool. So what are we doing here? So shooting arrows, we need to have the arrow go off of player aim direction instead. So let's change this arrow a bit. First off, I want to just make it smaller because right now it's kind of annoying, or feels like it might be in the way. Hold on one moment. Grid settings, 8 by 8. It is 16 by 16, I think. Or was it 32 by 30? Let's do 16 by 16 for that. Toggle grid. Yep, okay. Removing this. Oh, we could have just done that, couldn't we? Yeah, that's fine. And then let's make another one. Like this. And we will remove that. So the black one is going to be the way that the player is facing, or that the character is facing for movement, and the black... Did I say the black one? Okay. Black one, movement, red, aim. Alright. Oh, come on. Okay. Player... I'm not gonna do that. So player move angle, or was it direction? I think it was direction. And then player aim direction. We're gonna set that one to subimage of 1. Okay. So real quick, let's do this. Aim direction set. So we're going to be going off of this same so I'm changing this to be for the left stick. Hold on. Replace all. Okay. Variables for gamepad aiming. H axes are for X. Well, we don't need X movement or Y movement. We just need the axes, don't we? Var V axes are. Okay. And now we replace that with the R, and that gives us what we need. So, if this, basically, here, if this, but with R instead of L, then player aim direction equals what was it that gave you point? Was it just point direction? 0, 0. Where H axes R, where V axes R. Remember, that's horizontal axes and vertical axes, so X and Y. However, if that is not the case and the player is not pressing the stick, actually I'm going to do this real quick, then player aim direction equals player move direction. Alright. I would not be surprised if there was some variables that I forgot to change, and oh, what's this? Expected. Where is that expected? It's expected right here. There we go. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Oh. Alright, we're already getting an error. So, there H axes not set before reading it. Okay. Oh, there we go. L, L. Did I miss any? I don't think so. And I forgot to do it for the other one as well. Fair V axes. Okay, where are you? Or did I? Not seeing where I'm missing it. Okay, hold on. Let me do this one more time, see what the actual error is. Okay. So, line 30, V axes, remember L, not set before reading it. Okay. But it is set, is it not? H axes, remember L. V axes, remember L. Oh, you know what I'm probably missing? There we go. Okay, cool. Remembering what you've initialized and haven't can be very important. Alright, so for now I'm only moving the left stick. Aiming is working correctly. it might not be going directly to through the point, but I don't think it needs to. Or through the thing. So let's try this. There we go. We now have ourselves a twin stick shooter, which is not what we were aiming for, of course, but you know. Okay. Now that we've done that, and I am getting cords tangled up. Alright. Gonna take a sip of my drink. Okay, so we've done that. Now let's try adding the lock-on. So there are several ways I've been thinking about doing this. We have the obvious one here. You know what, let me work this out real quick. Lock on. So we have the basic idea where it's simply the nearest enemy that gets locked onto immediately. Then there might be nearest enemy at closest angle. So this could be some sort of weighted thing where the angle in which you're aiming might be more to an enemy further, or might be closer to intersecting with an enemy that's like much further away, but the closer enemy who's not quite as far off that angle would get picked instead because, you know, that enemy's closest. And of course the opposite side would be nearest, would be just closest angle. And of course, if there are two enemies who are both within the same angle, then or who have the same angle, then it would pick the one that's closest to the player. If they're the same angle, then, or if they're the same angle and the same distance, then, well, it would be whatever one is tested for first, probably. So, let's start off with just doing nearest enemy. So, if gamepad, what was it? Gamepad button press checked, or button checked pressed. So you might have noticed that there was also a function that was just called gamepad button check. And the difference between gamepad button check pressed, and gamepad button check released is how it reacts to buttons, I suppose. So check pressed is literally the action when the first when your button, or when your thumb presses down on the button. Doesn't matter if you hold it after or let go, it was just when the button went down that it reads that. Whereas if it was just gamepad button check, it's every step that the button is held, including the first one. So whereas you wouldn't want, say, the holding the button to make you auto-fire a pistol in a game, at least you might not. Whereas you do want it to do that with, you know, an assault rifle, a machine gun, an automatic gun in general. So doing gamepad button check would be fine for that. Although, you know, you'd actually want the bullets on a timer, but we're not getting into that right now. So, and anyhow, gamepad button check released is, as you probably guessed, when you release the button. So, say you have an attack in a game where you charge up, you know, a super move, that attack would then happen once you release the button. In fact, I'm pretty sure like most action games do it upon, or do the action upon button release, because of the fact that you can charge up moves, or they need delayed inputs, things like that. So first off, or we need to actually see what our options are. So we're looking for GP stick R. GP, oh, that always happens, it seems. GP stick R, that's what we need, but we put that in the device part, so it's device 0. Okay, there we go. So I think we can do instance nearest. Yeah, there we go. Instance nearest x to x and y being the player's coordinates. But we do want it to be the center of where the player is, not just the player origin, which is 0, 0, so at the top left. Then obj parent enemy, so that it can target any enemy whatsoever necessary. This probably outputs a real. Yep, it outputs the ID of whatever is nearest. So first off, actually we should do this. If targeting equals true, or if targeting equals false, then, am I even spelling targeting right? Hold on. I am not. It does not have 2 T's. Okay, targeting. So, if targeting equals false, then targeting, then yeah, targeting, we'll just go with targeting rather than lock on. Targeting ID equals that. And as well as targeting, okay, and then if targeting ID equals no one, then, or does not equal no one, just in case it did not return anything properly. Would that actually return no one? If no instance, yeah, we'll return the keyword no one. Cool. Okay. If targeting does not equal no one, then targeting equals true. There we go. Exactly what we need. Targeting equals, oh, I forgot to put an if. There we go, if targeting equals false. Okay, so first off, we actually do need to create now targeting equals false, targeting ID equals no one. Perfect. So now let's do this real quick. I should actually say what this stuff is. We have movement and aiming arrows. We have drawing self. And we have drawing coordinates, which I'm probably going to remove soon, the drawing the coordinates. Between these two, I'd like to do drawing lock on. Draw arrow, why not? So X, well, here. Let's draw point. So point would be if targeting ID does not equal no one, then draw point targeting ID well, we don't actually know what the size of the target is going to be all the time, or at least we're going to assume that. So let's try to just put this in the center of the B box real quick instead. So here's what we'll do. There target X equals target ID dot bbox left plus target ID dot bbox right. Actually, we can just do this. We can average it using the mean function. And then target Y equals mean target ID dot bbox top target ID dot bbox bottom. Alright, so now we're gonna do no, we only need to do, hold on, box top minus 10, we'll say. Or were we gonna go for the center? I don't know. I'm imagining that in a 2D game, it might be easier to just have an arrow above the enemy. Screw it. We're doing it the other way. We're having it in the center, like in Dark Souls. Mean target ID dot bbox top target ID dot bbox bottom. Okay. So var target X, var target Y, and we'll set it to C red for now. So C red is just the constant for red. There's all of these as well. Also has all their values right here. How many colors are there? 16,772,200. Was it 772? No, 16,777,215. Okay, that explains that. So anyhow, those are the constants for those. C red should be fine for now. Let's see if this works. Although targeting will not currently aim stuff. Oh, what happened? Target ID not set before reading it. Okay, well, didn't I create that? Targeting ID. it's easy to mess that up. Okay, so scripts, search in scripts, target, ID. Well, they're all the same amount. Okay, whatever. I'll make targeting. Okay, cool. Let's try this one more time, see what happens. Oh, it's really difficult to see, but we do indeed have a little red dot right there. So, let's actually make that something visible real quick. Okay, so draw circle color, I believe. Let's have this. Let's have the radius be, I don't know, 2. It doesn't need to be too big. So diameter of, what would that be? Either 4 or 5 should be fine. See red for color 2. Outline true. So it'll just be an outline of a circle, or, you know, an unfilled circle. There we go. We have our simple circle right there. Clicking the stick multiple times does not do anything, so let's fix that first off. And that's still not very visible, oh my goodness. There, good enough for now. Okay, so where was lock on? So let's just remove this real quick. So if targeting equals false, so what about if targeting equals true? Else targeting equals false and targeting ID equals no one. Just to test this, let's add another dummy to the room. Another one that we can try to target. Oh, we're targeting him. Now we're not. Now we are. Now we're not. Now we are. Now we're not. And now we're targeting this guy. That's exactly how we want it. Alright. So, now that that's done, if targeting equals false, then we'll do this. Else otherwise we want the player aim direction to equal point direction x plus 16 y plus 16 yeah, x plus 16 y plus 16 and then what was it that we wanted? We wanted targeting id.x plus... No. How did we get this? Hold on. Yeah, let's just copy this over real quick. Okay. Let me pull this over. Alright, so we got our movement, we can aim. Now let's target, and look at that. Every single arrow hitting the mark. Doesn't matter how far it is. Well, until they hit walls. Or unless they can't go far enough. Alright. That's exactly what we want. Cool. We now have a really basic targeting system working. Some things that I'd like to add to it is the ability to change targets with the flick of the stick, as well as you know, the slightly more that's the word I'm looking for. Having it be more picky about what it's targeting, as in the whole angle thing, so not just based upon what you're facing, or what's closest. So, you know what? I'm gonna call that, or I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Hello, I am back. So, I think the first thing I'm going to try to fix is the angle of the dodge, because I would like to take care of that real quick. So once dodge is true, then did I do? Looks like it's already prepared for that. So rather than remove those, I'm just going to do this for now. Dodge, instead it's going to be dodge H axes L, dodge V axes L. That L there isn't actually necessary, but you know, whatever. So let's see if dodging works. Oh, what did we get? So H axes, remember, is not set before reading it. Okay. Yeah, okay, that should be correct. Okay. B button. Oh, look at that. Fair dodge axes H. What did I do wrong? What's this fair that's being... Oh. Here. I think all I actually needed to do is this. Dodge H axes L. Dodge V axes L. Var dodge axes H. Var dodge axes V. Okay. Hopefully it works now. As you can see. Well, that's not right at all. No matter what's happening, we're going to the right. Okay. Good to know. Why was I using the remember one? H-axis, remember L. It is H-axis, but then... What am I doing wrong here? I apologize for my quietness. Just trying to figure this out. Okay, so this definitely should be happening. So let's see real quick if that's being set anywhere else. Or well, obviously it's being set to 0 at the start, just as they both should be, and that's the only other place it's being set. And so why is it not moving, or why is it not working? I'm gonna shouldn't be returning back to 0. Okay. Let's do this. Let's draw these. Okay. Okay, so they're doing that. So why are we going that way? What did I fuck up? Okay. Dodge H-axis L is equal to that's over. Dodge H. Oh. Well, that explains it. Okay, I'm an idiot. Alright. So this is unnecessary. Or was it direction? I think it was direction. Player movement direction. Or player move direction. Okay. Doing that. player move direction. Okay, so that means that we don't actually need these. Let's give this a shot. Okay. No. Okay. So, let's change this into dodge direction. So, dodge direction. So, player dodge direction equals player move direction. Alternatively, we could just make it so that the move direction can't be changed when you're in mid-dodge. Alright, it seems like it's working, but let's test this a little bit further. Let's set the dodge time to 1 full second, even though that would be incredible overkill for a dodge. So facing down. Oh. Seems like it's working. Okay. Let's set this back to 6. Cool. It's exactly what it needs to be. So, something I like the idea of is not always knowing exactly how well you're going to fire something. Do I want to do that now, though? No, here, I'm going to get back to working on the aiming, or the targeting. Okay, so why did I do that one? Okay, so figuring out exactly how I want to do this might be a little bit more of a pain than it was, because simply querying the nearest instance is pretty easy. Having a bunch of other factors, not so much. So what can we do to improve upon this? So first off, let's do nearest. Well, I wonder if there's a way to ignore certain ones. Instance place, maybe? Instance find returns the ID of the nth instance of a given object. but you may not always know what the ID for the specific instance is, and so this function can help you as you use it to iterate through all of them to find what you need. This sounds useful. You specify the object that you want to find the instance and a number, and if there is an instance in that position, at that position in the instance list, then the function returns the ID of that instance, and if not, it returns the special keyword no one. So it looks like this essentially goes through a list of the instances, assigning a simple number to each and every one of that particular object type. So if we were to have 5 enemies, they would probably be labeled, their n argument would be labeled 0 through 4. So yeah, like it shows here in the example, it's doing instance number obj enemy. So thinking about this a bit more, I think what I want to do is when you press the button, it lists all the enemies and then maybe puts them in an array or a list or something, applies different criteria to where or to which ones it might want to choose, and then it'll pick the best candidate based upon that criteria. So once again, that criteria can be how close it is, the angle in which the player is aiming or looking, maybe, whether or not there's any solid objects between the player and the enemy, but whether or not I actually want to have the solid object one is a bit of a stretch. In 3D games it makes sense, because if there's a solid object in the way, chances are you can't see it, and thus you don't want the player targeting something they don't even know is there, thus giving away that it's there. But in a 2D game, unless I have that, or unless I have enemies vanishing behind things, then I don't really need to worry about that. Stretching. Okay. So what do I want to do? Okay, we're gonna make this dramatically more complicated. So let's do nearest enemy and criteria. Okay, so first off, we need to list all the enemies. So let's say this is target or target lock array, or target lock candidate, or target candidate array. Okay. For now, we'll do that. So we can pretty much do the same thing that it showed in the example. For n equals 0, and then while n is less than instance number obj parent enemy, n plus plus. Okay. So for each of these, we're gonna check if they're even viable. So for now, we're going to assume that there is that the target lock length, or target, the distance in which the player can be from the enemy in order to target it, we will say is 1000. So target range, there we go, equals 1000 for now. That might change in the future, if at all. Or it might be removed, I don't know. Might be made 1,000,000 so that we don't need to worry about it in the code further on. Okay. Where was that? Okay. So, what was it? Instance find, I think? Yes, instance find. So, instance find obj parent enemy, n will be n, var test, or var candidate enemy ID equals so first we're gonna see if what is it, instance distance? No. Point distance. So x plus 16, y plus 16 to center y. Okay, so as per usual, we need to find the center of the thing based upon the b-box. So b-box, so equals mean b-box. Why don't I just have the enemy set that for me?